Ready? Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to the Summers County Board of Education regular meeting tonight, April 14th, 2026. This will also serve as a Jumping Branch LSIC meeting. Let the minutes reflect that all board members are present. And we're going to ask Mr. Brogan, if he would, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, we have approval of agenda or adjustments.
Make a motion, we pull R.T. Rogers and Safe and Sound out to be paid separately.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride to pull R.T. Rogers and Safe and Sound out and handle those separately. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. We will pull R.T. Rogers and Safe and Sound and handle those separately.
I'll make a motion that we pull James and Joey Farley from personnel items to be approved separately. Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Farley, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, to pull James and Joey Farley from personnel and handle those separately. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. We will pull James and Joey Farley from personnel items and handle those separately.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as read with the aforementioned changes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey. We approve the agenda as read with aforementioned changes. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. The agenda has been approved with the aforementioned changes. Item 4, presentations. We'll turn it over to Jumping Branch for their LSIC meeting.
So our wonderful chair, LSIC chair, Amanda Griffith, made our PowerPoint for us. So we're just going to kind of chime in together as a group. All right, so we're going to go on to the next slide and talk about the purpose of LSIC is to highlight our academic growth, share effective instructional systems and supports, demonstrate attendance improvement, and celebrate our family and community partnerships. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our academic growth. In our strategic plan, we had a really high goal, which was 80%, and I'm happy to report that we're getting super close to it. As of last year, we were 56% mastery in ELA, and we were 72% in math, which is school-wide. So we only have 8% more to go in math. So we're pretty excited. At the second benchmark, we were at 53% mastery or above in ELA and 51% in math. This was an increase from our first benchmark in which we were 45% in ELA and 29% in math. So we're on track for that. So we've had overall math growth, especially in kindergarten, first and third grade. We have school-wide movement from red to yellow and green performance tiers, which is what we always wanted to move them out of the red into the yellow and then move them up from the yellow to the green. So that's been our target, especially second semester, to look at that data from the benchmark and figure out what we need to do to move them up. We've had ELA growth for all kindergarten Title I students. In fact, she just missed a lot out of her Title I, which is what our goal is. We had 6 students attend the regional math field day, and we had one that was very close to placing. I think he made 4th place. And then we had 2 students attend the regional social studies fair, and they won 3rd place in it. We also received an award at the beginning of the year for exceeding standards in ELA, and that was based on last year's state testing. So So when we're talking about the state testing, it is extremely hard. And some of those, we're called Cambium now, we still call them IMAs. But the Cambium questions are very difficult and they word them in a very tricky way. So what we do is we use the test offering and our teachers then will display them, or on the Cambium modules, they'll display the ones they've missed and they'll work it out together to try to figure out how to do it. So what Ms. Todd is giving you guys a picture.
They're fifth and the sixth grade.
Those are the math questions.
Yeah.
That the kids are expected to do. So we're gonna have a competition in the year, like who's smarter than the.
Or the fifth grade.
Yeah, so we want to see, because some of those questions, I mean, and I've argued with them, and we've argued the question and the answer, we're like, no, that's not right. But they are very difficult and very tricky.
These two, I wouldn't even say are trick questions. Some of them are trick questions.
Yes.
Like they just,
It's all in how they word it.
but they're tricky.
We just wanted to show you an example of what our kids are expected to know.
I have the answer key also. Set prize, whatever.
That's what we have pencils. They're hard, aren't they?
I didn't study. You're giving me the
Yeah.
right answer.
The answer key's not on the back of the page.
Not the odd ones either.
Y'all pick the even numbers.
But what the teachers let us come do is they'll project them and then they'll work it out, and the kids will say how they worked it out. And we believe whatever strategy you want to use is fine, as long as you can justify it, as long as you can tell us how you did it, and it worked in more than one situation, then we're like, okay, because they've got some very creative ways sometimes to solve problems.
Ratios have been our big hard thing this year. They're fun.
The racial, yeah.
So if I don't do well on this, then when you all have your math day and you wanted board members to come in, I may not get an invite, right?
That was one of the sixth grade question versus the fifth.
I think the fifth grade is the first question. Oh, that was the easy one for me.
That was easy to do. I
Yeah.
agree.
Now you're gonna take the test.
I'm not writing my name on it. I get it wrong.
I haven't even made it to number 2 yet. I'm still on number 1 at this time. If y'all want to tap out, I think I need.
Mr. Brooks, like I'm.
The next one in the field.
You got anxiety. You got it? No, I'm sure.
I just asked if my answer was right.
Okay. What they all say. All right. Mr. Miss Sonic, you ready?
I'm not even made it to number 2. I was at one, was 25. Got that one. Number 2 is 3/8. And I'm
It
not
is.
that far.
If I reduce it down, not sure. It's not, I didn't get it right.
We just wanted to give you an example
I
of
didn't get
that.
That's fifth and sixth grade.
That
Well, the fifth grade is
one
smarter.
was easy for
than-
me.
Yeah, I got that pretty quick, but I want to make sure Or put it down, and math used to be my stuff.
So these are the instructional systems that we have found that work. We have our MTSS framework, and that is like our tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And we are very fortunate this year that we have, towards the end, they just now gave us like an interventionist, an extra interventionist. So that has helped tremendously to break up. We find that like some of our kids, they start out in the green, they're in the green, they're doing really well. But then when teacher is trying to work with our yellow kids, which is our tier 2 kids, those kids in the green sometimes don't get that direct instruction that they need in the small groups. So having the interventionist has really helped to kind of pull some of those kids and work with them so you don't have such a big group. Because the whole goal of the MTSS is that more one-on-one instruction. So we do have our Title I teacher that takes our tier 3 kids. She does take one group that is our Exceeds group, and they do projects. Like they have done, where they had to build tiny houses. And currently they're doing one with a balloon. They have to figure out how to make a balloon car and how fast it will go. So they do project-based learning. We have classroom and Title I interventions, data-driven decision-making. Everything we do is at our PLC meetings. Our data meetings is based on the data. So if we see we have this group of kids struggling, then we know we have to work with this group of kids on this skill. And that's the good thing about like the test authoring that we have with the Cambium. It like actually highlights the skills that most of your kids are missing. So you know which ones that you really need to focus on. And we have ongoing progress monitoring. We have like, it's every 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, we do progress monitoring, but a lot of our teachers do it more than that. Especially with like the fluency, they're doing it weekly to make sure that we're on track. Okay, we have a lot of opportunities to be a small school. We've applied for the Run Club, and we were granted it both fall and spring. And Coach Mann, he meets with the kids at 7:35 in the morning, and they get to do physical activity before school starts. So we actually, I did research on it, and it like says that if you could get those kids that have like ADHD, if you start them out moving in the morning, it kind of settles them for the day. So the way it is, they have that run club in the morning, so we kind of encourage our ones that, you know, have a little more difficulty sitting still, and they're here anyway. Our kids get here by 7:10 in the morning, most of them. So they get to do the run club, and then they have recess in the middle of the day, so it kind of spaces it out where they get a little bit extra movement. We have the drama club. We did our Christmas show. We're getting ready for our Descendants show in May. We have our Bible club that Miss Bowling does. And we have our book club that Miss Mott does. We use a lot of project-based learning. This year we've done a lot with escape rooms, which that's on another slide. Of course, I know you all knew about our missing elf that somebody kidnapped. Not mention any names, but she still hasn't lived it down. And we have an escape room in the fall, and then we're having one May the 1st for 3rd through 6th. That's going to be like a review of state testing standards. So we're going to do an escape room then. We do AR for our kids. We found that the AR points causes them to watch and read more to get those points, and then we do our AR field trips. The first 3 we usually do just like here at school, like an extra recess or a game day, and then the last one we actually take and go somewhere. We have after school tutoring every day, and then we have extra intervention. That is also, we have an after school interventionist that stays and does after school tutoring just for an hour. Real world application, I have to tell a funny story about 5th and 6th grade. So we have Tiger Dollars is what we use for PBIS. So if they've done something good, they earn Tiger Dollars. Well, our 5th and 6th grade, they have a bank card. And so every week they have to tally up what cash they have left to put on the bank card. Then when they spend it, they have to take away from that. So it's like real stuff. They know how to use their bank card. Well, we kind of noticed that our 5th and 6th graders, a couple of them had an extraordinary amount of points when they went to the Tiger store. And Miss Knott was like, I'm not sure how they got all these points, because we were trusting them to do their own math. So we weren't checking after them. So Miss Long let us know. So what we did was, Daniel Yost happened to be up here, and him and Miss Counts put a fraud alert on her smart TV, where it came across as red, flash, fraud alert, And that fraud had been detected in the fifth and sixth grade group at the Tiger store, so their cards were temporarily blocked. And they were like, I happened to be standing in there, and they were like, wait a minute, I've got money on there. I was like, sorry, you can't use it. So for a whole month, they had to pay cash only to go to the Tiger store, and we were able to find out which ones, had too many points. But they were not happy, but I said, in real life, if your card is compromised, that's what happens. If you have cash on it, can't get it off till the bank releases it. So I think we taught them a valuable lesson. Yeah. We do have some extra mental health support, which we found that we really need. You know, we have some kids that really had some major issues. I think in 1 week, we had like 6 people here of different situations that had gone on at home. So we have Summer comes from new schools, and of course we have Tracy, and then we have Raynell that has been coming to us and dealing with our most severe kids, which has been great. I talked about the escape rooms. We have 4-H. Mr. Thomas Cousin does our 4-H after school for us. And then Leslie Sears does it for K through 2 in the morning. They back that up today. Our bookmobile comes every Wednesday. Also, the library is really good about helping us out after school on Wednesdays. Then we had our spelling bee. We had our first ever JV spelling bee. And it was pretty cool. Dr. Mott was our moderator, and they did pretty good. We had one that we had to keep reminding them to say the word, then spell it, then say the word again. But they did really good. Some of those words were really hard. And then our attendance incentives, we have done, that's Miss Bowling. She has done, you want to talk about what we've done this year?
So we have a weekly, that is for the classroom, and we have a spirits team. And so each week, we know what our chronic absence rate is and what our attendance rate is. And then, this new service, so at the end of the day, they announce who the spirits leader is. And they really love to get it. I mean, it's just simple. It's the last 5 minutes of the day on Friday, and then they get sick, and then they just start asking. So it's very interesting sometimes on the classes that do have things for that. And then that gives them all the opportunity to, that's a little reward for coming to school. And it's not just one class all the time. It's not based on perfect attendance. Perfect attendance is hard. You're in the hospital or you get flu or something like that. So this year we've tried to concentrate on not being chronically absent. So the goal is, we'd rather not be absent more than 8 days. That's kind of like, that's the best. But when you get to that point, we're like 17, don't miss more than 17. So we had some heart-to-hearts today with a few kids, about where they stand. And actually I had 2 come to me at lunch today. And I said, hey, you need to check and see how many days you well, I thought, hey, you missed 12, so you can't miss any more. I want you to in school now. Okay. And that you do. So they're kind of learning to keep track of themselves, which is really good. And one thing during the year, so actually get a green on the contact since we started out at 20. Our goal was 20%. Okay, we started out at like 25% for the year. Our goal for this year is 20%. So at one point we get 6% chronic absence rate, which put us in the green. So awesome. And then moving. So today we're at like 13% again, but still that's a long ways from 25%. And so the kids that we talked to today, if they can make it, we'll be at 7% for the year, which will be good. So we're hoping that.
That has to be going, because she really goes above and beyond to get that attendance. And comes up with some great attendance.
Instead of, now, our monthly reports, we do, for attendance for those, because it's over. To recognize, excellent attendance as well. But then at the end of every 9 weeks, we do a non-chronically absent award. so that when you may have missed 5 days, that still you get a reward. So the first 9 weeks we did, lollipops, cool treats, and they came, and all this was funded through PTO. So they're really good about having us for kids who can. It's after school dog. Our second one was during the winter, so we went to the Ritz and we reserved it just for our school, to see the brand new movie, Charlie the Wonder Doll. We were supposed to see it the day before we slept, the roller snow, so anyway, I know a couple weeks later. The last one that we had, which was after school, and done about the kid, was the Prom Farm Girl. And she came, she did all kinds of cool drinks for the kids, and they just had to walk up to the trailer. And not only the child, but parents was invited too, so they always get a ticket for the child and the parent, because the parent has to get to school. So, and then the movie theater, we did, snacks just for the students, but they could only have their family. So if they had 3 or 4 kids, they could all come to the movie. So, and then our last one, we have to do it in 2 days because we won the course on Friday. And they just won't know what they, we have to have, once they get it, you know, they can use. So we're doing 2 separate groups, so they won't know what group they're in and what they did.
That one will be yours.
So we're working on it.
We are working.
So it is steadily, started out, yes, 5 years ago, when I first started, it was a 50-some%.
I just have a story of one of our 5th graders today. He has perfect attendance, which is amazing.
I have 2 of them right now.
Yeah. But he wanted a haircut, he needed a haircut. And he's playing basketball for school, so he was like, I'm gonna get a haircut. So he wanted to know what time he could come, that he wouldn't be like even a quarter us. And he was telling his mom, he's like, I gotta be there, I gotta be there. She said, well, Tony's opens at 7. He made it here at school at 7:58. He wasn't even late, he got his haircut. He was so excited. All right, so we talked about our incentives, which I think helps a lot.
Yeah.
All right, our community and schools impact. So Ms. Bowling does a lot, and we have some pictures to show what all she does. She does attendance supports, family engagement, yummy bags are distributed by her, clothing provided to 60% of our students. I mean, we have kids that, you know, if they spill something, if they have a dress code violation, we go to community and schools and we're able to, you know, get them clothing. We had kids that lost their house, and I actually had 2 families this year that lost their houses in fires, and Ms. Bowling was able to get stuff for them. We provided food for 28% of our students, school supplies to 100% of our students. And if they run out of something that they need, she's always willing to give it to them or go get it for us. Utilities and emergency family support, I think you paid a couple of power bills, a couple of water bills. 68% of support is focused on attendance, and she has supported a family affected by a house fire. 2 families. Yeah, 2 families. And our kids know, they know if they need something, we're gonna go to Miss Bowling. Family and community, we had a data survey, we had 39 parents attended, we had a winter wonderland, we had 37 parents. Dr. Seuss Week, parent engagement, reading goal, and planning. We didn't have a lot of people at that one, that was during the day. You know, we have so many parents that are working families that it's hard for them to get here for like an hour and then go back to work. We find that they do better if it's either after school or combined with another event like our Christmas burger. CIS has provided support to parent guardians in need, Halloween costume distribution, none of our kids were without a costume. And attended Spirit Stick Weekly, and they really do get into that. And I mean, when they win it, they're like, where's it at? And they're going down the hallway to get it from the last class. And then we also had haircuts for 5 of our students. That Studio M came here to school and gave our students haircuts.
And just recently in those pictures, we were able to get a grant from Henry Foundation from the drama students to go see Matilda and to bring our gallery here, because they had performed Matilda last year. So that was a really good experience for them as well.
All right, our PTO is amazing up here. They, no matter what we say we need, they're going to get it for us. So winter, they provided winter gear, pajamas, and books for all students. Everybody got a set of pajamas, and then we took family pictures with Santa Claus, and that was pretty cool, and they all got a book. Holiday photos and Santa visit, support for families during the holidays. I know right before Thanksgiving was when the food stamps, they were like delayed. And so we were able to provide food, a lot of food for families that may have been affected by that. And PTOs also helped with at Christmas time, getting toys for some of our kids that may not have what they need. And supported families involved in a house fire. And our PTO provides all of our field trips. If I say we want to go here, they're like, okay, we approve it. All right, looking ahead, our goals are to continue improving attendance. We're hoping to get to that 7%. Sustain academic growth. We're also hoping to get to our 80% goal this year. I feel like we can. And expand family and community engagement. I think our parents are very pleased with how we update on Facebook and we update with newsletters. They have really spoke out how they like that because they feel like they know what is going on. I will share that we are a PBIS school and we are in the running for being a showcase school, a model school. They came and did ours March 31st, and they interviewed kids, 3 from each grade level. They interviewed me, they interviewed our PBIS staff, and they were very impressed. They took pictures of our stuff. If you get on that way, there's a PBIS tracking bulletin board where we keep track of all of our behavior data. And I will say that PBIS has really helped our school. Just last year, we had 17 in-school suspensions, and we're down to 9 this year. So I think having those consistent expectations, and we've gotten it more consistent, I feel like, so they know in kindergarten, this is the expectation. It's going to be the same for first grade, it's going to be the same for second grade. So you don't have that fun teacher that you can get by with. It's the same throughout. So I think we're well on our way with all of our things. And do you all have any questions?
Keep up the great work.
Sounds great.
We have a few things coming up if you all would like to come. We have our field day, which is going to be May 19th, and that is at the 4-H camp. That's a lot of fun. We have a lot of games, and we actually, one of our parents, her husband works for RT Rogers, and we're able to get the big grill, and we always get Dr. Mount to let us change it to grill hot dogs, and we're able to have hot dogs at that. So you guys are welcome to come up.
Say May 19th.
At 9 to 2. And play tug of war with us. That's a big hit with our children, teachers against students. Wilson, remember? And our carnival is May 7th. So please try to come to that. And we have our multicultural day for the day, thanking for its team. That's where we travel to different countries and learn about different countries and traditions and food. And then we have our big water slide event at the end too. That is May 26th.
And you can come ride a horse. Yes, you have a big time.
Come ride a horse.
Yeah, you can have our horse. But you're all welcome to come to any of those events at any time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna show you all. Our kids are featured in this book too. It's our after-school book, and they had to draw a picture of a monster, and then they got published artists. So, and then we have we're doing our books that they write this year, each grade level list. This is our section, but it's part of our after-school program.
Be sure and take lots of pictures on the multicultural day. I really loved seeing these last year.
Okay.
Because I think, your celibacy was after that.
It was.
And I loved seeing those pictures.
Okay, yeah, we will. I don't know what country, I know several countries, Italy, and I'm not sure where we're at this year, but it's always exciting.
I bet, it's so funny.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5, public comment. We have Miss Angel Gum on behalf of Hinton Area Elementary. And I will just start off as I've tried to with all of our public comments, just according to the policy, you have 5 minutes. We can't engage you. We can just listen. And then if it's something that we need to address, we can talk about putting it on a future agenda.
So I wanted to talk to the board today about why we feel that board officers do not move back to the annex. And so I just typed out some comments. I'm just going to read them so I can stay in 5 minutes. First of all, we feel that there's more room at the high school. The high school has 745 students enrolled for school year 23, and it's down to 561 students this year. And now they have the middle school addition that it did not have in 23. The former main entrance to the high school offers a suite of offices, all parking from the central office right in front of it. The offices are located between the middle and high school sections of the building, so it's kind of a natural divide. At HAE, we actually lost 2 adult spaces with the renovation, which was fine because we had the annex. If the board office moves to the annex, that means there will be even less parking spaces available for HAE. Furthermore, board office staff will need to understand that their vehicles cannot be moved from 2:30 to 3:05 each day due to dismissal procedures. We dismiss all of our walkers and our parent pickups on our lot now as a safety thing. And Rob Boone loves that because it was a mess before, because you had kids running between buses and stuff. The map shows space available that was presented to you all, and I did ask for a copy of that after that last meeting because I hadn't seen it. That I don't feel really is available. For example, the staff workroom has a copier, staff mailboxes, sign-in and posting bulletin boards, the die cut, laminator machines, and the professional library unit. We already have a 3rd resource special ed teacher using what doubles as a materials resource room for storage for extra materials and for pre-K storage, as well as our library shelves and books that we had to move out to allow for a physical activity room during that renovation. Where are we supposed to locate all those items? I don't know any place I can move all the teacher or staff workroom equipment. Our conference room already doubles for speech services on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have both speech teachers on those days. OT and PT utilizes whatever room they find available at the time, which is usually the sensory room for Ms. Ward, the staff workroom or STEM lab for Ms. Lilly, and Mr. Cook usually uses the physical activity room or hallway. In addition to itinerant services, we require use of the conference room for our larger IEP meetings, and it also serves as the PLC and collaborative meeting rooms. When available, Carolyn Stevens does testing in there or in the file room, and she has even had to do testing in the STEM lab a couple of times because we didn't have space. These areas were occupied. Then there's CPS, who we have frequent visits from, and we usually put them in either the conference room, the file room, when interviewing students, and sometimes they've had them put downstairs in the STEM lab. Reno Medical Center does school-based therapy. They have to have a space to see students for school-based therapy. I think that is part of their MOU. That is currently located in the annex. So where do we put them? HAE has room for additional students, but finding spaces for additional adults is the issue. The map shows doubling up the resource room with a special ed teacher and a Title I teacher. This year, the special ed teacher, who was mainly co-teach, is now, because we've qualified so many more special ed students, having 2 one-hour pull-out groups as well. The 4 or 5 Title I teacher does basically push in, but needs to have the flexibility to pull out small groups when needed, as she has this year. The number of students qualifying for services and with the intervention groups being fluid as part of the MTSS process, schedules change and there must be flexibility. Putting the other 2 Title I teachers in the same room for small group pullout would be quite distracting. We have a lot of kids with ADHD and other issues. We had to have multiple support teachers in a room before we were given the use of the annex. Why should we go back to that? That is not what is best for our students. If the board office moves back to the annex, I'm sure they'll want the white building on the parking lot to use as storage also, because they're going to need storage. Currently, we have a lot of stuff in there. We're gonna have to find a new space for all that. And there's still a lot of the stuff that they left behind before that just, there's so many records that you have to keep for a certain number of years. They may have a plan for that. I'm just not privy to it. We had Tier 4 in our building the first year where our current STEM lab is located. It was not a good situation. It is best practice for alternative classrooms like Tier 4 to be located elsewhere. When the classroom was in our building, students could hear yelling and profanity through the walls in all the connecting classrooms. Dr. Knott had asked that Tier 4 and the STEM lab be switched, because the STEM lab used to be in the annex, so that Tier 4 was closer to her as she was in the annex as a special ed director and principal over that program, and the STEM lab moved to our building. Our students should not have to hear or see what sometimes goes on in Tier 4, and the dignity of students in Tier 4 should be protected with a safe place for de-escalation away from the eyes of the other students. The behavioral specialist needs to be located close to Tier 4 as well. In addition, we may end up needing a primary and intermediate level Tier 4 room in this county due to the behaviors that I know we're seeing in pre-K and kindergarten that are coming to us. They're my frequent flyers right now. I am averaging an hour or two a day with 2 pre-K students, my time.
We're at 5 minutes now. So,
Long-term considerations rather than just a short-term, enrollment keeps declining, make scholarship applications keep pouring in. Moving the board offices, some of that building may save some money now. However, if enrollment continues to drop at the rate it is now, there may be no way around closing a school with or without the board office move within the next few years. That's the harsh reality of it. With HAE being centrally located elementary school, chances are that it would be one of the other 2 schools that would have to be closed and absorbed here. Why then would we take up that space? If it was decided to move HAE to the comprehensive high school, that would mean taking an elementary and putting it in a comprehensive high school rather than an elementary school to an elementary school. Is that really what is best for kids? There has to be a move. The board office needs to be moved to the high school location. Thank you.
thank you for your comments.
Thank you. You emailed each of us a copy of that.
I'm sorry.
You email each of us a copy of that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, item 6, we have approval of minutes. The superintendent recommends approval of the following. That's March 24th, 2026, regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes for March 24th, 2026.
A motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mrs. Farley to approve the minutes from the March 24, 2026 regular meeting. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? If the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the March 24th, 2026 regular meeting minutes have been approved. Item 7, we have before us first the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound.
Make a motion that we pay the bills for Archie Rogers and Safety Sound.
Second. We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. McBride, that we pay the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote with Mr. Brogan recusing himself that the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound have been approved for payment. Would you like to give your disclaimers?
I had to leave the room because I had a conflict of interest with those 2 businesses.
Okay, we have before us the remainder of the bills.
I make a motion to pay the rest of the bills.
Rather large bid for produce. Any, her Kroger.
We have a lot of stuff that was going from our store. They had several catering. Jobs. That they've done this time. And then we've got like secondary. Secondary one.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. McBride. Seconded by Mrs. Farley. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the remainder of the bills have been approved for payment. Approved transfers and supplements.
I'll make a motion, we approve the transfers and supplements.
Second.
I need to get this. I'm going to recuse myself because the Ritz rental is a conflict of interest.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride. Mrs. Harvey has recused herself due to a conflict of interest. Can you just go over these real quick? Anything that's standing out what's the negative?
So the negative was that is the guidance to graduation.
Okay.
And it was originally in there, but it was approximately $75,000, but the grant award was not that much.
Okay.
So we had to reduce the budget down to, I think it's approximately 37,000. So we just had to reduce it down.
Just had to subtract that out to compensate. Okay.
And those other ones, the tech account, we just had some money come in. The P card rebate is how much we had in the last quarter. The other ones were grant awards that we had received. So we were just adding those to the budget.
Okay.
Little good news.
All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? The minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote with Mrs. Harvey recusing herself that the transfers and supplements have been approved. Old business, discussion and possible action to approve the 26-27 school calendar. So this one, the first day for students will be on 8/24. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then the last day would be 6/4. Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the school calendar, 26-27 school year.
Y'all sure you want to do 2 weeks at Christmas again? Just put that out there.
Well, I've noted that the hunting season is indeed attacked, so I'm literally cautious.
You know, Joey could work Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday because he'll kill his deer the first day.
Oh,
So-
so.
All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Brogan. Did I get a second on that one?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey to approve the 26-27 school calendar. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the 26-27 school calendar has been approved. Discussion or possible action to approve the Rainelle Medical Center MOU. This is the MOU for the current school year.
I'll make a motion as we approve the community medical center.
I'll second.
Motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mrs. Farley to approve the Rainelle Medical Center MOU for the current school year. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. The Rainelle Medical Center MOU has been approved. Item C, discussion or possible action to approve central office relocation. Dr. Knott, do you have anything you want to add to what we've already discussed about this when we had our work session?
I do have a recommendation. And just to preface this, we did have work sessions which were centered around the finances and facilities that went into this decision. That since the goals of any school system are to ensure quality school experiences for our community students and to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars, in order to protect the future fiscal integrity of the district, my recommendation is to move the board office out of 418 Temple Street and to plan for the sale of that property, 418 Temple Street, and move to the annex at 116 Main Street. Of the two choices from what we presented to the board, it was the better choice.
For those who weren't on at the work session, that was you and Kenny. Did you all get a look at the map and did you all get the packets from that work session?
No, I did not.
I emailed something.
Okay.
Are there any potential buyers? That's me one of the.
That's my.
I know it's been kicked around to try to. Has anybody talked to the city? Are they interested in the building? I hate to lose, I mean, I don't know about the rest of the board members, but I've been getting quite a bit of kickback that the gym is being used a considerable amount, especially for basketball. I know it's been used for archery. If we could, well, let me ask my question again. Has anybody talked to is anybody interested in receiving it that we might be able to still continue to use the gym?
No one has approached me, and we have not put any deals out.
I mean, I agree that if it's costing, what'd you say, almost $60,000? That is an expense we don't need as far as the maintenance and the insurance and what have you. Even to the point of if we could get it to somebody that would still allow us to use it, even if we have to rent it, it would still be far less expensive to rent it when we need it than to continue to maintain it. So it's not like I'm against a movement, but it's just me, I'm just one person sitting here, but I would like to try to work towards that end to where we could, if we do get rid of that building, that we still have access to it. That's just me talking.
I tend to share your concerns.
I mean, I think that's a great way to continue, even if we don't own it anymore. If we could get it in writing, some way that we still have access, even if it is to pay for it, it doesn't have to be volunteer. Then I would be more supportive of a move, but right now, I'm not.
I feel the same way about the gym and the property. All the money we spent renovating the board office where it is now located.
What are the monthly expenses to maintain that building as a,
Annual is what, almost 60
Annual
grand.
was, I think, 64, wasn't
the
it?
annual expenses?
Did we find out, or did we do it? I know you did some comparisons, and I guess I'm asking more or less to refresh my memory than anything, but I know it was about $30,000 difference between last year and this year as far as expenses went, or the 2 years that we were compared. That was for gas? What all utilities did that cover?
For transparency, I think it would be helpful to have that on the record. The expenses related.
Okay, so those numbers, whenever we look at them,
We have water and sewage, which, remember, and these numbers were as of the, work session, which was the end of February. So they were running through the end of the month of February. So water and sewage, you're looking at an average cost of from 2022 through 2025 of approximately $8,800 a year. And then you have natural gas, which is looking at an average cost of about $5,500 a year. And then or electricity, sorry, you're looking at an average of about $42,000 a year.
Electricity is the main
Yes. Now, whenever we look at this year so far, at the end of the year, or at the end of February, we were already at $62,000 for electricity in that facility. And that is, for the people who have been on social media making comments, just to address this for transparency purposes. 418 Temple Street is only the facility that we are in. It is not the old middle school.
Right.
There are two separate meters. That is two separate facilities. So 418 Temple Street is only the central office and the gym above. So it's only those two. It is not anything but the middle school, the old middle school. We did have that at one point in time, but it is no longer, at the end of 2025, there was nothing that we were paying for. Because it's no longer board property.
And this is somewhat separate from the superintendent's recommendation, what we do with the property at 418. So back to the superintendent's recommendation is to move out of 418 Temple Street to 116 Temple Street. I for one, 16, I said, yeah, 116. What did I say, 114?
You said Temple.
Okay, all right, 116. Because we did have someone come and appear before us on this subject, and because Mr. Brogan asked for a copy of your notes, and you were kind of rushed because you only had 5 minutes, I, for one, would like to postpone this to the next meeting and give us time to review the comments and then ask any questions that we might have. So I'll put that in the form of a motion. I would like to make a motion that we postpone any action on the superintendent's recommendation until we can review the comments from our speaker today, our presenter today, and postpone this to the next meeting.
Second.
So there's a motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride, that we postpone any action on the superintendent's recommendation of the move out of 418 Temple Street until the next meeting. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that we will postpone any action at this current meeting on the superintendent's recommendation, and we will have it on the next agenda. Item D, discussion of possible action regarding updating property insurance and flood coverage.
Before we move forward, I'm sure that just about everybody in here is frustrated with what just happened, but to me, this is a big deal. And I feel like we have got to do our due diligence and do our best to make the best decision for the kids in Summers County.
I agree with that statement.
When you send that to us, we will be able, to respond together in email, because that will be my, with that in our meeting, conversation. So, please don't say a lack of response, don't form an opinion over that, we just like to respond unless we would find questions. Because that would look like a discussion on but I appreciate you, sending that to us. Review that. I took a few notes, but it's hard to, you know, take it all in and find it. Thank you.
All right, item D, discussion or possible action regarding updated property insurance and flood coverage. So we have before us here the better and best option. And the increase over what we are currently paying, correct? Is that what, that's the yearly cost increase is over what we're currently paying?
Yes, that is correct.
Refresh my memory, the difference between better and best, is that lower deductible? Is that,
So whenever we look at this, when we look at the board office, that would be increasing the value, the best would be the 800,000.
the best would be,
The best would be the.
okay,
So whenever, so as you say,
The
going down there
comments.
would be the lower value or the higher value at each of those.
okay,
As we're going, through this.
all right, thank you.
You guys want to do these individually or?
And that's, you can do, like, on each location, you could choose,
Right.
so we don't have to do it together, it could be, however you want.
I think what we could do is we could do them all in one, but we could go ahead and pick which one we want. And then make that adjustment, then make the motion and I believe we would be covered, be okay doing that. Bus garage contents from 400 to 600, there's no change between better and best. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'm saying on the cost.
Yep.
Right.
Those two are changing.
Mhm.
Simply because of the way the talk at school is laid out so compact. I feel like that was one that we probably need to do the best on, in my opinion.
And the very first one, board office, is that's the current board office?
That is, yes, that is 418.
Feel like leaving that where it's at.
Yeah. I think recommend leaving that, go with the better.
Okay.
And I think the same thing with JBE. That's our recommendation.
Just on the better.
I couldn't hear you, Megan, I'm sorry.
Go with the better recommendation on Jumping Branch. Then we can always upgrade if we need to.
I think that's a,
And in my, again, we're just discussing. Jumping Branch, I don't see us replacing Jumping Branch School should it ever burn down. I'm not so sure we're not good at where we're at, simply we just need money to clean it up more or less and replace some supplies to move to the next location. That's just my opinion. If we don't do either better or best, it stays the same, whatever it is that correct or not?
That is correct. My only thing that I would, caution you on is I'm not so sure that what the current structure value would be enough to clean it up.
that's what I was wondering
That
about.
would be my only concern.
What's the
The current structure value is the
880? Yeah, I think we probably should at least go with better because that would get us cleaned up.
Okay.
And that is that is the reason that we would be looking at least at the better, for the simple fact that if something catastrophic were to happen, we would have enough to make sure that we could, move, clean up and move to a new location and have it.
Okay. I wasn't in on that meeting, so I don't know all the details.
Rent better on all of them, so that's $3,000.
Well, it's a total of 5,000 increase per year if we go better or best on all of them.
But I mean, yearly cleaning,
So here's what we're currently paying up
Right.
here. And so if we go with better on all of them, it increases it,
2,000.
2,000, a little over 2,000. If we go with best, it increases
5.
about 5. Yeah, so if we go better on a couple, best on a couple, it's gonna be in between those two, somewhere between 25 and 53.
You probably said this already on this, but how do we pay our premium? We pay quarterly. So whenever you look at the.
We're thinking better on everything except for
The
COVID.
maybe quarterly, okay. Yes.
In the board office.
Sure.
The quarterly.
Better on everything but COVID.
Well, bus garage, we're gonna go with best or better because it's no change. Same thing with the football complex. So I'm assuming we could go better or best. It's not an all encompassing package. We can pick and choose. So I believe if we, really the only ones we need to look at are the board office, Talkit, and JBE, because there's no change in the bus garage and the football complex.
Correct.
So I think the consensus that I'm hearing, and I think maybe from what we discussed during our work session, the board office, we go with better. The better should still give us enough money to clean that building up if it were a total loss. Talkit, we go with best. JBE, we go with better. And then bus garage and football complex, we can go with either one because it's the same cost. I mean, obviously, we want to go with better, increase it, there's no cost, so,
Right.
I'm sorry, best,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so just to summarize, board office at 418 Temple would be the better, which would be a $200 increase. The bus garage, which is an increase of contents of 400,000 and a structure increase of 600,000 is a $135 increase, which is the best. Talkit Elementary School, which is an increase to a structural value of 10.4 million, is a $2,700 increase for the year. Living Bridge Elementary, you're gonna increase to 2.5 million, which is the better, which is $810 per year. And then the high school football complex, we're gonna increase that value to 600,000, which is $137.50 per year.
And I think this is something that we should probably keep on a recurring annual basis.
Yes.
I think we could have, especially if we're doing quarterly work sessions, maybe our last work session of the school year, we put this on the agenda for the following school year.
Well, and I will say this, I'm impressed with, Blue Ridge, their two, handles our insurance. Today I received our premium for July 1st, which goes over everything. So this is something that I can send to Robin and, then we can copy on everything, so they would give us kind of a statement, so that is something that we can make sure that.
And I think this will be, handling it now will be fine for the 26, 27 school year. And then toward the end of that school year, we just come back and reassess our building, our 10-year facility plan, where we stand in that and what our future goals are, and adjust as we need to. So, based on the discussion that we've just had, this will be a long motion, but I'm gonna try my best. I make a motion that we increase the board office coverage to the better option. We increase the bus garage coverage to the best option. We increase the Talkit grade school to the best option. We increase JBE to the better option, and we increase the Summers County Football Complex to the best option.
Awesome.
Do you want to repeat my motion, Mr. McBride?
No, I do.
Okay, I was just checking before I moved on. All right, so motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by 5-0 vote that the updated property insurance will be increased to the better option for the board office, the best option for the bus garage, the best option for Talkit grade school, the better option for JBE, and the best option for the Summers County football. Discussion regarding the legislative update. In our folder for the meeting, there is a document, the green document. And the green book, yes, Dr. Knott has a copy of it, and it does go over all the legislative updates, but we will let Dr. Knott give us the Reader's Digest version.
So everybody has access to that, that folder. I would like to say that, like, this is the time of year when everybody gets legislative updates, so I got mine through the superintendent's meeting last week. Special ed is meeting tomorrow where they're getting legislative updates, the school board association meeting on May 2nd, the legislative update. We have the green book. Michelle Black said it was the smallest green book in a long time. So,
Is that good or bad?
you know, if the
They
good
didn't
ones-
touch step 7.
Just a brief overview, House Bill 4005 is the CTE skills to work. It was to clarify categories of employment which are prohibited or authorized for persons in West Virginia under age 18, to clarify youth apprenticeship programs. House Bill 4395 is relating to investigations of allegations of child safety violations. And it was just, the purpose of the bill was to continue investigations of allegations. I'm not really sure about that, because we just have to keep on. House Bill 4425 is to repeal the provision allowing for students to transfer from one school to another without losing eligibility, effective June 11th. House Bill 4765 was the 3% pay raise, teachers, school personnel, and state police. House Bill 4798 was permitting teachers to wear the mobile alert button for emergency situations known as Alyssa's Law. Counties can require it. There might be grant funds later. It is an unfunded mandate. It goes into effect June 8th.
The mandate is just to allow them to wear it.
The mandate is to allow us to wear, to allow school people.
Okay.
House Bill 4982, Make West Virginia Healthy Act 2026, had a lot of stuff in it. But one of the big things is it's bringing back the Presidential Physical Fitness Act. Healthy lifestyle, things like that. So a lot of that will probably be addressed through the county wellness. And then.
Was there any impact on like the food dyes and all that?
Food dyes was already.
That was already in
taken care of.
place.
That's already a done deal. There was a bill before them to further reduce the sugar faster than the federal was reducing sugar and affecting a lot of things in that. House Bill. Wait,
So you gotta have that sugar.
House Bill 4995 was to require the use of video cameras in certain special ed classrooms. They're already allowed. This one just changed some things in it. It changed that you had to, somebody in the school had to review 15 minutes of film every 90 days. They changed that to every 30 days. That goes into effect June 11th. There's a little bit more notification requirements as well for parents and staff. House Bill 4996 was relating to bail in cases involving terroristic threats to schools or children. Related to that, they can do a year-long ban from SSAC athletics if there's terroristic threats against the school. House Bill 5012 was providing for in-year school personnel movement to meet school needs. Goes into effect June 11th. What I was told, superintendents fought hard for this, and the big provision is this is we're not allowed to move people after a certain time, but if enrollment drops and a faculty member doesn't have any students, we are allowed to move them. I mean, it's, so you don't have somebody on payroll who has nothing to do all day. That's what that. House Bill 5048 ensures virtual instruction for foster students while they're in temporary placement. It just, made it, I think it's within 3 days, so they're in a virtual education program. 5089, bill, public school acceptance of student transcripts or other credentials. Each public school shall record the class grade and source on the student's public school transcript. So this is if you get a student that comes in and they were homeschooled, they had for one, when you record it on your transcripts because it came into your school, you can denote that it was homeschool course. House Bill 5438 to modify the foundation allowance to improve instructional programs. This is about the federal programs, all that stuff, July 1, that goes into effect. House Bill 5480, Youth Summer Employment Career Readiness Program, this is PPE related. House Bill 5686, relating to the timing of payments of annually required deposit into an eligible recipient's Hope Scholarship account. That's the Hope Scholarship Guardrail Bill, what it was called, quarterly payments only. Senate Bill 63, creating sustaining opportunities for academics in rural schools act. It is in effect now, March 14th, it went into effect. It's the SOARS Act, it gives charter schools the ability to use closed school buildings. The county board relating to the charter school boards. Senate Bill 155 was related to adjunct teaching permits. It gives certification and related field experience, but it has to be renewed every year for teachers. Senate Bill 5558 relating to school bus safety violation. It was the School Bus Stop Act. It was vetoed by the governor, so they expect it to come back this year. It just made stiffer penalties, I think, for Senate Bill 694, removing county residency requirement for county superintendent of schools. There is no requirement that the superintendent can live in the county, has to live in the county, but the county board can put it in their contract. Effective June 6th, almost done. Senate Bill 890, this is the calendar bill, changing certain school calendar requirements from days or months to hours. It goes into effect July 1, 27. So the calendar you approve tonight is the calendar for next year, but it does remove the 180-day requirement, replaces it with the 900 instructional hours. Changes requirements for faculty senate, teacher prep days, allows for accrued hours. Does not change the 200-day employment term. And I will say that we, as a board, with other people involved, it would probably start like this summer, coming up with some calendar scenarios. And I know that Raleigh County, we're part with them. When she knew this past spring starter, already came up with a couple scenarios for Raleigh County. So we have a quadrant meeting tomorrow, so we're probably going to share some ideas because this has a lot of flexibility to it. We need to do what's best for the students. But we'll have other people to lean on to help us out. What's an example of that? What might be an example? For a week or? Well, the flexibility is that some counties, if it benefits that county, can have 4-day work week. But faculty staff still have 200-day contract. So there's that. 4 days could be a little bit shorter or longer. Or it could look exactly like that. And, we just have to count that through hours. So it might help with more snow days.
That's what I was wondering is if the calendar that we just approved, hours wise, if that meets
It's less than 180.
if it meets the 900 hour requirement.
Yeah, I think, it will, yes.
And then maybe provides a little bit, like you said, a little bit more
That's
flexibility
flexibility in there for more,
for like
snow days or more. I think,
delay,
well,
delays.
it doesn't say in my summary, but I think the, non-traditional days and I think there's still those.
Part of it.
Part of it. Thank you. So there's, other than what's in here, and there is a lot of words in here. We just have to figure out what these words mean. They might also give us more guidance, that's where it's going on. Senate Bill 899 was permitting certain teachers to be certified to work as school principals. It was a bill to permit teachers with 15 years of experience at the elementary, the high, middle, to be able to be certified as principals, but they had, if it was, they were going to be an they had to have 15 years of elementary experience. So it's not just 15 years. The West Virginia Department of Ed is going to develop a process for that.
So in lieu of an administrative certificate,
And yeah,
they'll take years of experience.
right. But that process hasn't been developed yet, so we'll see that. Senate Bill 1064, redefining long-term substitute as it relates to public school personnel. It goes into effect June 12. It had to do with posting, because now we kind of have to keep those long-term positions posted. Now you don't have to post it twice a year. That's part of it, keep a long-term sub in a position where we have it. And some bills didn't cross the finish line. The school aid funding formula bill didn't pass. And the one about the Board of Education promulgating rules for common graduation. That's, I'm sorry, it was very long, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, this document is 103 pages long, so it's, we appreciate the shortened version.
35 school choice bills were introduced and once you did, that none of those school choice bills made it across. We appreciate the late surgery.
All right, any comments or questions regarding Dr. Knott's update? All right, item 10, new business. Purchases over 25,000, we have none. Brogan will be happy. B, discussion or possible action to approve overnight out-of-state trips. We have Paula Rhodes, ECE May 7th to the Virginia Safari Park. We have Jackie Persinger, pre-K May 7th to the Virginia Safari Park. And then we have Denise Bragg, May 19th through the 20th for the Gordon's Food Show in Pittsburgh.
Make a motion that we approve the overnight / out-of-state trips.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mrs. Farley to approve the overnight out-of-state trips. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the superintendent's recommendation for overnight out-of-state trips has been approved. Item C, discussion or possible action to approve the 26-27 state salary schedule.
I don't suppose we have any options to.
We have no options unless we were going to increase it. Right. So, and unfortunately, as much as I would like to be able to, we're not able to.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 26-27 state salary schedule.
There's a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride to approve the 26-27 state salary schedule. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the 26-27 state salary schedule has been approved. Discussion of the fiscal year 25 audit report.
The last page says no findings. That's good enough for me.
Any highlights you all want to point out?
Let's try to have some highlights.
Yeah, so I just have a couple things to go over. So I sent you all the big report, and tomorrow Dr. Green will have it up on my website. ready to go, so if someone wants to go out and see it, they can. So as Mr. Bergen pointed out, the last page did say that there were new findings. So that's always wonderful. On the last page, Vice James did issue us an unmodified opinion, meaning that the financial statements were presented fairly and, they were material in all aspects, according to the generally accepted accounting principles. At the year end, the board's net position was approximately $36.8 million, and you can find that on page 13. So that reflects, that's a reflection of an increase in fiscal year 25 of approximately $2.5 million from the prior year. And that really does indicate that the board's overall financial condition did improve in fiscal year 25. The total fund balance across all funds ended at approximately 3.9 million, which was an increase of about 1.1 million. And you can find that on pages 15 and 17. Total revenues were approximately 23.4 million, and this did decrease of about $3 million from the prior year, and that was due to COVID funds. And also capital projects, because we didn't have the high school SBA project, our funding with the middle school district, sorry, I was blank for a minute. But they were offset in the increase in property taxes and state aid due to the funding formula changes. The expenditures last year were approximately 20.6 million, which was decreased from the prior year, and that was again mainly a reduction of COVID and construction-related expenses. The general fund remains stable. ESSER funds have been fully expended and closed out. The capital projects, the only thing that was remaining at the end of fiscal year 25 was the roofing project on the CTE building, and it will be closed out at the end of fiscal year 26. So we will not have any other capital projects at that reach at the end of this current 27. We're in 26, I'm working on 27, I'm sorry. We do just, the only thing we're need to be aware of is the loss of COVID funding, making sure we are watching and being fiscally responsible. Operating at staffing levels, making sure that we are staying below what we're funded for, and making sure that we are operating within our range of funding. The board is in strong financial position at the end of fiscal year 25. We started the year very strong, 26, we're still very strong right now. Just make sure stay within budget, let's keep it where we are. We're on 27 budget right now, which we will be putting out for Republic on Friday, and then we will have a budget hearing at the end of the month. But 25 is very strong and strong.
Did you say the CTE building's the only capital project we have, and it'll close out?
So it will close out the end of this year. Yeah, all the construction is done. We received the last of the SBA funds, I think it was maybe in February. So everything's done, everything's been paid. And we will be hearing that forward at the end of this year. Thank you.
So as of July 1, what do you see our carryover funds being approximately?
I'm gonna say it's probably so JP Mallory will be here tomorrow, and that was one thing that is on our list of things to look at. And I would say we're probably gonna be pretty steady. We'll give you an estimate of probably somewhere between 3 to 5. Similar to last year. I'm gonna say it has decreased a little bit, just because we didn't have as much, we don't have as much revenue that's coming in. We did collect some of the revenue from last year that, that was carryover that we needed to collect, but, the revenue did go down a little bit this year. But I have tried to make sure that we are, drawing over boards in a timely manner, making sure we're getting those funds in, receiving everything in a timely manner. Our cash flow is very strong right now. But I'm making sure we're staying on. But we have a very strong cash flow, very strong bank balance. Our interest is coming in very strong. We're strong right now.
What would you say that's a percentage, what percentage of our budget is that carryover?
Carryover. We're probably, at the end of last year, I think they were maybe 18%.
Okay. And the only reason I say that while we are right now financially strong, we also have to be prepared for anything that could happen, such as a cooling or heating system going down, a major roof repair, any type of, and while that sounds like a lot of carryover, one project could wipe that out. And so part of us as a county, being fiscally responsible is making sure that we have that carryover to maintain our facilities as problems arise.
Right, and that's a good point too, because even though it sounds like a lot of money, when you're operating, it's really not. So I mean, when you look at payroll, that's $500,000 a week.
Right.
And, you know, we're looking at running 3 payrolls in a matter of 3 days, since we do all our work. So whenever you do that, even though all the cash flow doesn't go out at one time, we're running $2 million. So it's retirement and all that stuff. So it really does,
Especially if we're running over our formula funded positions.
correct, yes. So we're just, making sure we're covered everything.
Right. All right. Any other comments, questions? Thank you for that report. Item E, discussion or possible action regarding virtual options for the 26-27 school year. This is one I had asked to be put on an agenda sometime back, and it was just during our work session. There was a comment made that we may not be able to afford proximity next year. So I just wanted to kind of get an idea of what our virtual options are, how cost compares, how many students we have right now virtual versus, what grade levels they're in. And so, again, I will state that some of our students will be successful with asynchronous learning. Thank you. I was trying to. While others will be successful with synchronous learning. Out of my 4 kids, I have 2 that have been successful with asynchronous learning, and I have 2 that have needed that synchronous piece. I think it's important that we make sure we are addressing the virtual needs of everyone in our county. And then I just really, based on the options that we're looking at, am curious cost-wise how those compare.
Dr. Green is still attempting to get vendors to come through. He can give you I don't know if there's any more to say about that.
We've had a couple vendors, we have, what they're coming in. There's a team, at the hospital that is going to review those. And so as we get more material from each group that is sent to them, we hope that by the end of April, we can, have looked at and vetted and discuss what the options.
Okay, are we looking at both synchronous and asynchronous?
Yes.
Okay. Based on what we're looking at, are they comparable cost-wise?
Yes, roughly they're comparable cost-wise. Right now, we're looking at what do you get, to determine whether if we go with something else, if it wants to be as good, at least as good as, if not better.
Right. Yeah, I definitely want to make sure that if we are giving a virtual option, we're giving quality.
And would these also be considerations for either permanent teachers that we can't place throughout the school year and or the ability to enrich class options?
So the second one, yes, definitely. The first option of whether, like, if we had to offer a classroom virtual, like, during that class period, I've had one company talking a little bit about that, but that's not really the center of my conversations about mostly it's been you offer synchronous and asynchronous, and also what kind of special ed accommodation services can provide, but that's something that we are kind of very limited on right now. And that's kind of been what's kind of piqued my interest on a couple of them, that I really want to continue to look at them, see if we can meet those needs. We kind of right now, we have to say, we can modify the IEP for some things, but the options are kind of limited. So that's kind of where we are with those. That's kind of been a bigger one, making sure one, that the general ed option is pretty solid, but then also kind of looking at what they offer, that we can make sure that our special ed students are getting better served.
And, well, I think what drew my question was thinking about, talking about the principal at the high school, middle school, how can we get kids more engaged to attend school? Because we don't have Joy down there to, they've got a good support staff there, but still, you know, I hear it. And we just want to encourage that engagement. And so if we're able to offer programs, classes that kids feel positively challenging, then.
So we're looking at the programs of that kind of thing, what the diverse options are. And so to your point, one of the things that we've also come across is, offering, we don't really offer AP. We just try for that. But for virtual kids and any students that want to perhaps take one, looking at the quality of that course as well, so that there are other options for students that might get them more motivated to kind of be active. Also, one of the things we'd like to bring, there is probably going to be a synchronous option and an asynchronous option. Because one of the things we do look at, or we kind of use, and I impressed my time as the principal, and then my short, thankfully, stint as attendance director. One of the reasons why we kind of lose them to go to virtual school, whatever, is they want a synchronous option. So we're looking at that, but one of the things I've talked to those companies, a couple that are holding, I have an extensive conversation. Okay, so what are we going to do to help enrich or mediate so that even though they're working on their own all year long, we're making sure that we still can address skill gaps. So that's going to be part of the package as well. So that, okay, yeah, it's wonderful that we're going to not stop them, but provide an option that make it so that they don't want to go to the charter school. It's great that we can retain the students with that service, but are we going to be able to provide them with the education, or quality education that meets all needs? And so that's going to be a conversation, whatever we bring, so that we can reach another student.
Which, according to Mr. Leslie's report, we're really not losing them to charter schools as much as we're losing them to private, whatever scholarship.
Well, right, but one of those things that they're going to is a private online school that does asynchronous.
I mean, you mentioned there was a group at the high school looking at this. Are we including elementaries as well?
At the moment, we are not, because our current model is just high school. But there has been some discussion at the central office in the future of opening that up to elementary school. But for the coming school year, we will focus on serving middle high school needs. And once we can do that, I think
And I realize with elementary, that adds another layer of complexity. But I also realize if we don't have that option, we may lose, as you said, to private schools, to homeschool. And so if that option's there, we may retain some students. Okay.
Right first.
Are we monitoring progress of our current students in virtual school?
Mr. Hartwell is the virtual facilitator. He does that. He's got a half-time English, half-time facilitator contract. He manages all of those things and he monitors them weekly. And that he is in close contact with the counselor and then Ms. Hawkins for when students are struggling or underperforming.
And I think that my reservation with some of the asynchronous is the student does kind of fall through the cracks with the teacher on record for that class. I know when I had a student, one of my students doing asynchronous, Mr. Hartwell did reach out to him, but we never heard from that teacher. And I reached out at one point to that teacher, never got a reply. I reached out to Miss Burdette at the state, and the response I received was, we've never had that problem before with the teacher not reaching out. At which point I sent another email to the teacher, did not get a reply, and I included Miss Burdette on it, and I think you as well. And the next day I got a response back from that teacher. So that's what I'm really worried about with the asynchronous option for some of our students. Now, Emma has done really well with her asynchronous classes. She's a self-motivator. And I think that's what we have to look at. Are these students self-motivators? Or do they need that extra push with that synchronous class?
Any kid that would be a for that, it would be just like they are now. Or with proximity, the way we operate now. If you are successful, then we let you continue. If you are not successful, then we bring you back. So for that, in that situation, maybe where we stair step them in that, okay, we did the asynchronous, that didn't work for you. So now you're gonna have two choices. You either move over to the virtual one, where you have good class every day, or you don't have to come to school every day.
Right. Yep. And that's during COVID, when we introduced the synchronous model, I think that was short of having our students in the classroom. That was the best way to keep our students on grade level and learning at the pace they needed to be learning at. So please put this back on the agenda once you've had your meeting with the group you have at the high school. And once you hear back from your vendors, I would like to hear what they've provided to you. And again, I would be happy to have any of them who would like to come and address the board and talk about their product to come to a meeting.
We will, we're definitely gonna bring all that we select, to present to you all, the workers, and that way we can ask them questions.
Okay.
The others, we will give them opportunity if they want to.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments on virtual options? All right, item F, discussion of possible action regarding the 26-27 athletic supplement schedule. So I did read over your email. I'm not sure I'm following the email. So salary versus actual cost.
Yeah, what is it?
So the actual cost, the salary is the cost that we're gonna pay that person.
Okay.
The actual cost is like the taxes and all that to go in to pay them. So one tells us to estimate about 25% in addition.
Okay.
So that would be.
The benefits and what have you. And based on your email, we're only seeing a net increase of $397, but we are cutting programs, or not cutting programs. We're removing the salaries for programs we don't currently have.
Yeah, but we're not.
Okay,
It's
so
not programs, it's positions.
Positions. Sorry. Thank you for clarifying that. My only concern, and this was a concern the last time we talked about supplements, is once we give these supplements, we can't take them back. And if we are the positions that currently we do not have filled, if that sport becomes available, there's an interest in it and we have to fill that, then we jump from the 397 change to, potentially $15,000 change. My issue with it the last time it was brought up is just long-term sustainability. It's part of this fiscal responsibility. I know we have to look at what's best for the students and is it going to benefit the students to do the increase?
used in the paperwork provided. And so what you have here is the 25-26 spent, correct? What we're paying today.
Yes.
And then this was the proposed changes.
So the 25-26 is what you all have approved and what technically we can post.
Right.
However, when you went back and you looked and you started cleaning up, and we don't have all of it. But we've been budgeting to,
That I'm following, but
okay.
when I look at these, we've got the athletic director, 25-26, 6,000. And then in the footage.
So. The version in here.
Uh-huh. Mhm. That's 6,000. And this is 6,000. But in your email, you're paying 4,000.
Okay, so this, what is here? This should be, I don't know why you have this, but that should be labeled 26-27, not 25-26. So that's why there's a discrepancy, there.
So do we have a copy of the 25-26?
You do have, you don't have it currently.
Is it in our
But
folder?
according to your notes, are you just looking for a raise for athletic director and cheer coaches? Is that correct or not?
Yes.
I guess I'm too close to this because I've been there, done that for far less money than what we're looking at now. And if you're coaching for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason.
That's,
If we can't give raise to everybody, I just can't see giving a raise to a couple.
well, the point of the matter is not necessarily a raise. Pay them for what they're actually doing. You have cheer coaches that actually coach 2 seasons. And they're mandated as part of their job to coach 2 seasons. Not a football coach who decides to be a year-round football coach. So we're trying to make it more equitable and comparable to what they're doing.
What was in the job posting when they applied for the job? Did it say that they were gonna be football and basketball, like a cheer coach?
When the job is posted, it's just cheer coach. And
Did
cheer,
it say what the duties were?
it doesn't say what the actual season for that is, it's just football or basketball and football they're cheerleaders for those 2 seasons.
Well, how long has it been like that? How long has it been like that? They've always cheered the boat.
They have always cheered by. But their staff, but their pay is so far below what the other coaches are required to do.
I'm looking,
Their season runs from August until March.
I'm looking back, at the athletic trainer. I think at one point in time, I can't remember what year it was. There was a discussion about that because I think, the athletic trainer was required to have certain, certifications. Does anybody remember that? That there were, the reason that the salary was set at that was because there were certain certifications.
I can't say that I recall that, but I'm sure that'd be the case because you can't just have anybody wrapping ankles and all that kind of thing. Responsibility
Right.
there's.
I believe that there was discussions about that because there had to be certain certifications. So I think that's why the salary was in that range, but, I'm just trying to make the numbers and stuff.
Opposing these might like I would be against Karen or against Kathy. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, they knew what was on the dotted line when they signed it.
I don't think we take the people. I don't think, we can't take the people into consideration. And it's probably, I apologize to say this, but Adeline to say their names.
Everybody knows what they are.
I can't hear you.
It's just, we need to consider the position and not the person.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Kind of my take on it as well is when I apply for a position, I know what I'm going to be compensated for. And it's very much like some of the supplements we talked about for our hard to fill positions in years past. If we had positions that were hard to fill, then we looked at increasing the supplement to potentially fill those. But as of right now, we have them filled. And while I would love to give everyone more money across the board, from our athletic staff to our teachers, our directors, our superintendent, again, despite the report of us being, in pretty good shape, we have to consider the long-term ramifications. That's my concern. And I know that it doesn't sound like much in the grand scheme of money. And maybe it's not, but it's still, just the financial responsibility that we as board members have to consider before we start giving out additional funds. So we do have this agenda item. Is there anyone who would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we leave the athletic supplement schedule as it was the 25-26 school year.
Second.
So there's a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride, to leave the athletic supplement schedule as it was for the 25-26 school year. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote, with Mrs. Harvey abstaining, that we will leave the athletic supplement schedule as it was for the 25-26 school year. Item 11, personnel.
I'm recusing myself from James and Joe Farley because I'm related to that.
All right, so before us, we have two individuals. Let me find the right location. There's a lot of them on here. Summer employment. We have James Farley, summer bus operator, and Joe Farley, summer bus operator.
I'll make a motion to James and Joe Farley.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, to approve James and Joe Farley for summer bus operator. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote, with Mrs. Farley recusing herself due to relation to the two individuals. That this has been approved. All right, so now we have before us transfers for service personnel. We have employment professional personnel. We have employment, extra duty, extracurricular, volunteer personnel. We have summer employment. And we have volunteers. Then under workforce realignment, we have renewal of personal probationary contracts, renewal of service personnel probationary contracts.
Did you say the resignation?
Did I miss resignation?
It's the first one.
First one? Okay, I probably did miss that. We have a resignation as well. So many pages here. I had to.
I'd like to make a motion under West Virginia Code 6-9-4, under paragraph 2 for personnel that we go into executive session.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. McBride, under West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, paragraph 2, personnel, that we go into executive session. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. We will go into executive session. The time is 7:51 PM.
I can get it more.
yeah, you just gonna say what's in the
All right, executive session ended at 7:59 PM. So we have the remaining personnel recommended by the superintendent.
I'll make a motion that we accept the, superintendent's recommendations for personnel.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan, to accept the superintendent's recommendation for personnel. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the superintendent's recommendation for personnel has been approved. Item 12, superintendent report.
I do have a couple of things. I would like to announce that levy informational meetings are scheduled for Monday, April 20th at Sandstone, April 22nd at the Memorial Building, April 27th at Pipestone, and April 30th here back here at Jumping Branch. They're all at 6 PM. We did hold meetings in Denton already and at Talkit. The tax calculator and some other information, facts about the levy are available on our webpage, scswd.us. Tax calculator works. I tried it out. See, also would like to announce that the Fourth Circuit Court ruled on April 8th that West Virginia's mandatory school vaccination law is constitutional, and that currently Summers County doesn't have any students enrolled with religious exemptions. So we didn't have to make any decisions about that right now, but West Virginia's law only allows medical exemptions to vaccine. And the religious, our school, mandatory school vaccination law is held constitutional. And then one more thing, I would like to say that the 6th grade pilot here at Jumping Branch was a success. One additional elementary was in favor of meeting 6th grade and one was not. I talked to Ms. Newsom, I talked to the other two principals. We do have the data to support that the pilot was a success. So, but I would like to not just leave that hanging and nobody know what happened after that. In personnel season, during our discussions, it was not going to be fiscally responsible to move all of the 6th grades back to, or keep them at their elementary schools, as there will be hiring. We were trying to cut our personnel, and we were just going to be upping personnel. So, and there would have had to be some split classrooms. And the way it worked out, we have no split classrooms right now, which we believe is the best for students not being split classrooms, split grade classrooms. But because it was successful, there will be changes to the 6th grade transitions down at high school, Summers County Comprehensive High School. And I've asked Ms. Hawkins at the next meeting with us there at LSIC to present that plan, because it's developing, but it is it's going to take the success that we have in 6th grade and try to continue it down at the middle school area, and she'll tell you more about that. But it was a success. We didn't want that success to go away, so we're going to try to continue it in some way down.
Good. Thank you.
Well, so you said you had one school that was interested in it and one that wasn't?
And but they all had room, and I wanted their input, but ultimately, when we had our personnel discussions, it just wasn't going to be
Financially feasible.
financial.
All right. Anything else?
The state will not be here, but it's. I think provided anything yet.
I have not, because I want to put too long there at first, and I have collected some data.
Is that all you have? Okay, thank you. Item 13, discussion of next agenda. The next regular board meeting will be April 28th at Summers County High School. This will be their LSIC. In addition to that, the Inspiration Gallery, not related to our agenda, but the Inspiration Gallery will have their new inductees the same day as our board meeting, and it will be at 4:30.
It begins at 4:30 with the reception and then the, ceremony at 5.
Okay, so I would encourage anyone who is here to try to come to that Inspiration Gallery presentation. Anyone who's watching online, I would encourage you to come to the high school for that. This will be, I don't know, this is probably the third or fourth year that they have had this, and there have been some great selections made for that Inspiration Gallery. And our students always participate in that as well. They do their research on the person that they are presenting on, and then they present information about the person. They always do a great job, and we generally have a performance by our band, a few other things. So that's a good showcase for our students as well as the Inspiration Gallery. So anyone who could be there, please come out. As far as agenda items for the next, not necessarily the next board meeting, but I just want to put this on the radar. That's probably going to be a long day for the next one. So before the end of this school year, I would like to, the work programs, the CTE work program that we started this year, and I'm not sure if I'm giving it the right name, calling it by the right name or not, but I would like to hear from maybe some of those students and the staff on how that went this year. Some best practices maybe that we've taken away from it and what we can do to improve that for the next school year. Any other items for the next board meeting that you all have? If not, as always, you can reach out to Dr. Knott or myself, and we'll get any agenda item that you want added on that agenda. So, Mr. McBride, we will go to item 14 on the agenda.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn, time is 8:06.
Motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Farley, that we adjourn this meeting at 8:06. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. This meeting is now adjourned.